Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and here's a headline from Forbes. We'll know crypto is for real when its coins start collapsing. Now, on the surface, some of you might be thinking, wait, why would we know crypto is for real? It's here to stay when things are going south. How is that a sign? I'll give you my personal answer, my own words. It's because it'll be an indication of the maturation of the asset class, because right now there are over 8,000 cryptocurrencies on the planet. And damn it, we don't need a new form of money for every business idea that exists. We definitely do not need a new form of money. Now, there are all sorts of instances where it does make sense to have a decentralized cryptocurrency with an open market price. But here's the thing. When it comes to this is why I've said many times, like, utility matters and will win the day. Like, XRP will be here in 100 years, 100 years from today, so long as it continues to solve a real-world problem, because solving a real-world problem represents value, which is different than price. It represents value. And if something has value, then it deserves to be, if it's an asset, it deserves to be traded on open markets in perpetuity. Why wouldn't it? And that's why I've also said that, you know, this is one of the reasons I have always felt a little bit extra safe investing in XRP compared to other cryptocurrencies. Because frankly, when it comes to other cryptocurrencies, since they don't functionally do anything, and arguably you don't need a new form of money for every single one of these ideas out there, fine, maybe we feel safe because the market moves in tandem right now, and I recognize that, so the short-term utility doesn't matter as much. But at some point, the market's going to care. There's no way. The reason it hasn't to this point, yeah, there's a lot of frenzy around the asset class, but it's also not clear which cryptocurrencies are going to be the winners, because almost none of them do anything. But as utility begins to take hold, then that's going to shift, and all the other cryptocurrencies, many of which I own, like, they're effectively going to go to zero. I believe that a lot of the cryptocurrencies that I own are not going to be here if you fast forward a decade or two, or not even. We may not even have to wait that long, frankly. I don't know how long it's going to take for the asset class to evolve to that point. But that's why when it comes to XRP, it's functionally being used today in enterprise-grade software. That represents value, which, again, is different than price. And so if businesses need it to conduct their business models, and they do, why would it go away? If anything, as the maturation of the asset class continues, you know, smart money will realize, wait a minute, businesses do need this, and put more money into it. Wouldn't you think? That's my speculation anyway. And look, I don't have a financial background of any kind, so I'm not offering financial advice. Do not buy or sell anything because anything I say are right. That's just personally how I look at this. And so that's why, even though I don't know when the asset class, you know, the way people invest in it, it's going to shift. I don't know if it's going to be quicker or if it's going to be some sort of slower evolution, but since I don't know, that is one of the reasons that I felt even safer holding XRP than other cryptocurrencies, because whenever that evolution happens, whether it's fast or slow, I don't know, XRP's in the good as long as it's functionally solving a problem, which, again, it is at least today, so we'll see if that persists, but if it does, yeah. And so I don't want to go through this whole article, but there's parts of it towards the end I do want to share with you, and it's fascinating. I mean, they're talking about a lot of things in this article, frankly, including the debasement of the United States dollar, and this recognition that crypto's here to stay, and it's fundamentally going to change a lot of things about, well, frankly, how people treat anything of value and actual money itself. And so check out this. This is part of it. As evidenced by the $5 trillion of daily currency trading, the global marketplace has never been happy with money that lacked an anchor. And so they were also, let me pause there. He was also talking a little bit earlier in the article about how the United States dollar, like the gold standard's not a thing. It's not backed by anything anymore. But so anyway, then he wrote, enter entrepreneurs. They work feverishly to meet unmet needs. One of the present needs in the marketplace is money that's trusted. Enter crypto entrepreneurs. Their number seemingly expands by the day, along with investor interest in them. Call Bitcoin the Netscape of the crypto boom. Just as countless investors passed on Netscape only to regret it, we've obviously seen the same with Bitcoin. The latter's rise from basically nothing to $35,000 a coin proved a powerful magnet for investors willing to see the creation of monetary forms that would be better than Bitcoin. Which is why there are presently many more crypto concepts than there are global currencies. Once again, witless pundits economists and politicians don't understand what's happening. In this case, they don't because they've never understood what money is in the first place. If you don't get that it's a measure and nothing else, you can't really analyze money. So they focus on the prices of the coins, which is for them to miss the point. Good money is never a speculation. So let me pause there. You know what I've always said? Like, money technically, I mean, he's trying to like really simplify it there. That's a little bit further than perhaps I'd take it. But money's a lot of things. And so you always hear, especially people that don't like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general, they'll talk about how it's a medium of exchange, a unit of account, all these things. And okay, yeah, so those are attributes of money. Got it. But what is it at its core? Like, what's layer one? Like, for my answer is it's a trust system. Because without the trust system, none of that other stuff happens. It won't be a medium of exchange, and it won't be a unit of account. It's not going to be any of those things if you don't have the trust level there to begin with, right? And so, yeah, if you're talking about utilizing it as a measure, fine, and compare any money to any other asset, and you get all sorts of different rates. The United States dollar relative to Bitcoin or due to gold, I mean, it varies, right? And it's been it's certainly been volatile when you compare the United States dollar to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically over the last 12 years. But there is this recognition here that what's happening with the United States dollar specifically and other fiat currencies the world over, it's absolutely eroding trust here. And so then he gets into a little bit of speculation, and he wrote the following. In which case, the bet here is that eventually Amazon, JP Morgan, Walmart, Target, and others like it will issue their own currencies. Companies like them can't devalue in the way that the U.S. Treasury has routinely debased the dollar, and the result will be that more and more will demand payment in paychecks in trusted market-based money that holds its value throughout time. Yeah, so look, here's the thing. And right now, the United States dollar, despite all the legitimate critiques that I and many others, perhaps you too, have against it, like it is working to this point, even though inflation is an actual thing, even though it's getting printed into oblivion. Right now, it's functionally working. But we've seen this movie before. When you abuse a fiat currency, even if it's a global reserve, at some point there's going to be a breaking point. It's just going to happen. There's never been throughout history an instance where you can just endlessly abuse a fiat currency and then it stays the global reserve. That has never happened. So we don't know when there would be that breakdown. I don't know if it would even be in my lifetime, but if nothing changes, we know how this movie ends. We already know how. And so then what are people actually going to want? Well, if you're talking about the global reserve just crashing forever, which I'm not predicting is going to happen anytime soon, but if that's going to happen, people still do need a unit of account. They still do need a medium of exchange. They need money still. And so where's it going to go? And so if there's a sufficiently liquid cryptocurrency that, isn't in the future, isn't really volatile anymore, because mind you, as liquidity increases and more money flows in and the excitement dies down in the decades to come, the volatility is going to be no greater than, precious metals like gold. Or really, I would think that would be my suspicion, right? And so as that happens, you could see how organically over time, people do instead, want their paychecks in something that they know the government can't ruin. And so I still don't, I don't think that fiat currencies are ever going to 100% go away. I'd be surprised at that, because I think that sovereign nations want to continue to have the control that they have. And really, they're always going to make sure they get their money anyway, because even if that went away, that they just tax you sufficiently. If they can't print money, then they're just going to tax you more than they otherwise would have. Because frankly, printing money, it's tantamount to a tax increase anyway. Because all they're doing is they're stealing value from people that have money in their checking and savings accounts. You can buy less stuff with it. It is a tax, just not by that name. It's not technically called a tax, but it effectively does the same damn thing. And so what's going to happen? Well, trust in these cryptocurrencies as time passes, and when it becomes clear which deserve to be here, they're going to continue to take hold. And the rest of them, though, they are going to crash, which is why I was saying all these other cryptocurrencies that aren't solving real world problems, eventually the market is going to figure this out. The market will mature and they will go away. And that's why for XRP, I'm so excited about it, because it functionally does something today, and it's got a ton of use cases, frankly, and they're always growing. So there's no way to know for sure that will always be the case, which is why I'm not one of those people that says I have zero doubt. I have doubt. I have doubt about XRP. I have doubt about Bitcoin. But that doesn't mean I'm not tremendously optimistic. I'm just being a realist and acknowledging I don't know for sure, but everything looks really good for XRP right now. So that's just me being a realist rather than a hype man. And a lot of the hype people, they just want to say, and no offense to some of you, I'm sure some of you say this like as a vote of confidence, and I respect that, but some people, if they purely want to be hypey, they'll just say, yeah, I've zeroed out XRP. It's just going to the moon for sure. It'll be there forever. It'll take up. You can hear all these big claims, but for me, I'm a huge fan of XRP. It's my favorite cryptocurrency, my largest holding, but that doesn't mean I know the future, okay? I don't. I'm just being a realist here. I could be wrong about the way I suspect that this is all going to play out. So anyway, they wrap up the article by writing the following. But that's just a guess and probably the wrong one. And yeah, in terms of referencing, because he just cited, all these other entities perhaps issuing their own cryptocurrencies and people demanding paychecks in those currencies. So he writes, but that's just a guess, probably a wrong one. That's the case because investors in literally thousands of private forms of money are presently battling it out. Most of these currencies will crash. Yet another growth spasm that pundits and politicians will wholly misunderstand, but that will transform how we live, work, and transact, and that will end the cruel currency devaluations that are as old as money is. Now, that part is true. That's a good way to wrap up that article, frankly. Because when this crash does happen, and even if after this market cycle, after this bubble finishes and inflating and pops, even if this will not be the time where all the coins that don't do anything go to zero, because they may not. The market may not have figured it out sufficiently. Even if not this time, eventually these cryptocurrencies that do anything will go to zero. And as that happens, I do believe these correct pundits and politicians that don't know what the hell they're talking about, they're going to think that's a sign that cryptocurrencies, they're clearly Achilles heel, maybe they're going away forever. Some people are going to think some of that nonsense, but they're going to misread the situation because cryptocurrencies are not going away. Of that much, I'm certain. I'm just acknowledging I could be betting on the wrong horses. That is to say, the cryptocurrencies I've invested in, maybe none of them have long-term viability. And mind you, I hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. I'm saying I don't know for sure. There's no way I could know for sure. But even if I'm betting on the wrong horses, real problems are solved with cryptocurrencies. So the cryptocurrency as a class is not going away. You can do things that cannot be done. And it's not only about the technology. That's why if you think that there's going to be some sort of just centralized cryptocurrency and we don't need all these decentralized ones, like, no. You can't have the same types of business models with the trust implications of a centralized cryptocurrency. And I think a lot of people seem to miss that, but they can't do the same things. And so we'll just keep seeing how this unfolds here, but XRP in the meantime, sitting pretty as far as I'm concerned. So you let me know what you think below, but I say, as soon as we do see this collapse, which will happen at some point in the future, I'm not going to be crying. I'll double and triple down on XRP at that point, perhaps. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.